Tell me that ain't worth getting out every fucking Tuesday for. Oh, my God. So this is the first time we've been doing this for, we're in our 6th season, trending worldwide for the first time ever. Number 2 in the United States, number 1 in the UK, number 6 in Canada. The list goes on and on of the trends worldwide. Think about the fights that have happened with the guys we've had. We've never trended with the Contender Series till tonight. So this is what this show is all about. This is what, when I came up with this concept, this was what the concept was supposed to be, not last weekend.
I guess coming in tonight, like how on edge were you or worried? Like
I wasn't on edge at all. I was fired up. I was ready. I had a pretty damn good feeling that tonight was going to be, I didn't know it was going to be this good. But, I mean, when, hold on, I got to flip through my thing here. But when the Salvador Ross fight happened, I was like, you don't want to be these next 2 kids coming out in the main event. Holy shit, was I wrong? You know what I mean? What an incredible fight. But, this is, these kids are the best unsigned talent in the world that we bring in here, and you got one shot to show the world who you are. They showed them tonight.
You were passionate last week, obviously, with the speech that you gave, but you gave a pre-fight speech tonight as well. What was the content?
Where'd you hear that?
Well, I think it was on the broadcast. They said that you gave it.
Yeah. So I came over and said I've never done this and I'd never want to do this again. I just want to remind everyone, and I talked to them a little bit. Reminded them what this is all about and why they're here and what this means and all that good shit.
Well, I know you said you didn't want to do it again, but after tonight you think, maybe it's not the
I've
worst
never had
idea.
to do it. I've never had to do it ever, and I didn't feel like I had to do it tonight. It wasn't about them. It was about last week, and I said, this is more for me than it is for you.
Have you checked in with Lorenzo at all throughout the night? Been like, hey man, maybe did you watch?
Lorenzo might be Eddie Mush. He might he might have jinxed last week on me.
So no more Lorenzo here in the NFL.
You can't get Lorenzo out anyway, and he probably didn't even watch tonight after watching last week live.
I figured you'd be blowing him up, texting him, be like, make sure you.
I didn't have time. I've been freaking out all night. Been incredible.
I guess out of all these, I mean, like you said, 5 contracts given, 5 outstanding performances. But did any of them stand out to you to the point where you're like, above the others? Like that's somebody I got circled for superstardom.
Listen, tonight was all about coming in and performing. I think everybody performed tonight at a level that the Marshall fight. I think that that could have been a fight on any pay-per-view prelim. And people would have loved it. So both guys were tough. Both guys wanted it. Neither guy wanted to give up or quit, and Marshall looked incredible tonight. So I think everybody, if you had to pick one guy, which I hate to fucking do tonight, but if you had to pick one guy, Salvador was a 3-1 dog, and just the shots that he was landing on Ross were unbelievable. And Ross's durability. Let me say this about Ross. Much respect to him, too, for putting on. Like Bisping was saying tonight, it takes 2 to make a great fight.
Yeah. You entered the cage after the Vinicius-Salvador fight.
I freaked out. I was freaking out. I said, I have to go in there and tell both these kids how awesome that was. And, I've never done that before either. As far as I know, I haven't.
We didn't think you had either. We thought it was the first time.
Yeah.
And I guess last thing I'll ask of you, was there any thought of maybe giving any, because as you mentioned, like Ross had an amazing performance. Campbell almost won the fight until he got clipped. Did you have any thoughts at all of like, let's give a couple losers some content?
Let me say this. Those kids that fought tonight are right there. None of them should be, disgusted with their performance or upset. They're right there. These guys pick up a couple more wins. They'll probably get the call. I know that both Mick and Sean loved Ross. So, you know what I mean? You never know. The thing about coming here is not only do you get incredible experience here, but you get to show everybody, like I said, you show everybody who you are, even in losing.
Dana, do you think one of the coolest things about tonight was maybe in 3 fights, the Billy Goff fight, the Salvador fight, the main event, you saw guys who were hurt manage to survive and get themselves back into the fight. And even with Salvador, he was putting the pressure on, and then the opponent comes back. We sometimes see guys gas out when their opponent doesn't go away, but he stayed in there, still, slipping stuff. Do you think
Which is what I thought was going to happen. I thought that Ross's chin was so nasty that Salvador was going to gas out and then end up getting hurt himself. But, man, that kid, 3-1 dog, didn't listen to the odds makers, came in here and showed the world who he is.
And power at flyweight as well. We don't usually see
100%. He's got a 100% finish rate.
Awesome.
100% finish rate.
For you guys to be trending, do you think that's like the modern version of Forrest versus Bonner?
Yeah, I do. I think that it had a lot to do with last week and how bad last week was. And, I don't know if you guys noticed at the fight, but Joe Pyfer was taking pictures and signing autographs, and people knew who Joe Pyfer was in Dallas, Texas at the fight this weekend. So I think that last week was so shockingly, unbelievably bad that people were interested to see what was going to happen this week.
You mentioned at the beginning of this kind of what I'm about to say now, but do you think when you have a night like tonight, the fights like tonight, in the format you have it, quick, fast-paced action, that it shows MMA has you don't have to have a UFC pay-per-view, you can have a different way of consuming this content?
Guys, you know this to be true. If you are a fight fan, you are out of your fucking mind if you're not watching the Contender series on Tuesday night. If you are a degenerate gambler, you are out of your mind not to watch. You had a guy, when you put on boxing fights, the guy who's 1,000-to-1 odds, the guy who's the favorite to win always wins, right? A 3-to-1 dog won tonight. I mean, anything can happen in these fights, and usually do. They're exciting, they're fun, they're fast-paced, there's no bullshit, there's no filler or fluff in the middle, man. We just roll right through great fights. And if you're a fight fan or a gambler, this is the show to watch on Tuesday nights.
I actually think you had 3 underdogs win tonight, so that would say, yeah.
Yeah, and the other kid was an underdog too. This kid, Smotritsky, in the first fight, he was plus 125, and he was winning that fight in the beginning. So you never know, man.
I just want to ask you one thing about outside this. This Thursday, you've got a boxer, Callum Walsh, boxing.
Yeah.
I'm curious how you took an interest in him and what exactly about him is exciting enough for you to even bother with boxing at this point.
So I met him through Tom Loeffler and Freddie Roach. And I like the kid. I like him personally. I like his style. He's 3-0 with 3 knockouts. And Loeffler puts on these unbelievable fights in L.A. It's sold out already. This fight's sold out on Fight Pass on Thursday night. And the last time I went, the matchmaking is excellent. That's why we did a deal with these guys and put them on Fight Pass. The matchmaking is excellent. The crowd is packed with real boxing fans. And, I'm having fun just doing this. This is just fun for me.
We see it with this show as well, right? Is matchmaking the secret sauce to putting on a great promotion?
It's everything. It's everything. You have to match the fights right. Yes.
Speaking of boxing, we saw Deontay Wilder in the house today.
I didn't see him. I knew he was coming.
Okay, that's what I was just going to ask if you got to see him.
Oh, he was? Okay. I'm going to go talk to him right now. Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't know what, you just found out he was training, or you guys, is this one of those guys, I know you always keep your hands in boxing. Is this a guy that anytime you get a chance to talk to these high-level boxers, you try to bring him in here and show the facilities and just...
No, I think Deontay Wilder's training here for his fight. And he's here at training here at the Apex, and I knew he was coming tonight. I just didn't see him yet. I guess he's waiting for me right now. So, yeah, I mean, Deontay Wilder's a tough dude, man. He's fun to watch fight, and, yeah, I like him. I respect him.
And I might have misheard. I thought I heard somebody was saying something like Waldo Cortez Acosta, or somebody was maybe calling out or saying he had hands. What do you think about when some of these UFC fighters are trying to call out a legit guy like Wilder?
I don't like it at all.
And then the only decision of the night, Francis Marshall. We've seen decisions in the other one, but what was the difference in the finish of this fight that made him get the nod that other guys last week didn't get?
It was a high-level fight. That could have been on any pay-per-view prelims, and people would have loved that fight. Both guys, what I loved about it is both guys wanted it. It started to get scary at the end. Marshall was putting it on him. I was like, maybe this fight should be stopped. And, you know, some of those kids that have those chins that, you know, is too tough for their own good type shit. I was starting to feel that at the end. But I don't know if you saw me go over to the commission, too, and I was like, these fights start to scare. I'm getting old, boys. I'm getting old. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, the ref. Yeah, thank you, Herb Dean. Herb Dean said, I don't disagree with you, Dana, you know, whatever, but he said, the kid's not rocked. He didn't go down. He's blocking punches. He's throwing punches back. I said, yeah, I don't disagree with you either, Herb. I don't disagree with you either. So just, I'm getting old, boys. I start to see a kid getting fucking whooped like that, and there's 2 minutes left to the third round, and I'm like, God, why does this kid have to take 2 more minutes of punishment?
So when you went over there, did you at first sort of voice that, hey, this fight probably could have gotten
No, I
stopped?
said, listen, this is one of those fights where I think just because the kid didn't get knocked down or he's not wobbled and all over the place could be stopped. And the commission, you know, gave me their point of view, and I didn't disagree.
And last one for me. I know we're going to hear from you this week, but if you could just maybe preface this weekend's fight, Santos and Hill. What are your thoughts on that upcoming main event that we're going to see on Saturday?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. That card, I'm excited for the Luque fight too. The Luque fight should be fun. That main event should be fun. I'm excited. Yeah.
Hey, Dana. Jamal Hill, a Dana White Contender Series veteran, is headlining his second straight fight. Just what are your thoughts on him? And actually, him and Sean O'Malley have been going back and forth of like who's the most successful Contender Series veteran.
Who has Sean O'Malley and who?
Sean O'Malley and Jamal Hill.
Oh, yeah. And what about it? What are you asking me?
Just what are your thoughts on Jamal Hill, and between them two, like who's the bigger, like who's the...
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. You know, they're both heading into fights that are going to make a big difference in their careers. I'm trying to think of what the hell was I going to say? Oh, if you go over to the matchmaking room and you look at the board, so we identify people on the board whether they came from the Contender Series, the Ultimate Fighter, or looking for a fight. The entire board is Contender Series. You know what I mean? You have so many guys on every card now. It's from the Contender Series, and everybody knows who they are. I think I just said this to you guys, or I was saying it back there. Joe Pyfer was at the fight. He was taking pictures and signing autographs after one fight on the Contender Series last Tuesday. This show makes a big difference and changes these kids' lives very, very quickly.
Absolutely. I wanted an update. You said that you were thinking about going to Seattle soon. Is there any update on Seattle?
Not on the top of my head, no. Not off the top of my head. No Seattle. We're heading into, everywhere we're going, you know where we're going. We're going to San Diego. We're going to France. We're going to Salt Lake City. We're going to MSG. Just right now, off the top of my head, those are all the spots we're heading.
Gotcha. And then finally for me, Manny Nunes, there was one name that people were kind of throwing back out of a potential rematch in the future, Chris Cyborg. I just wanted to know if that's ever a possibility for her to return and get that rematch.
Why? Who's talking about that?
Just fans in general. They there was Valentina Shevchenko throwing out the trilogy, and then there's Cyborg, and they were just wondering if that's ever a possibility.
Amanda absolutely dominated Cyborg. The Shevchenko fight makes way more sense. And I'm not just shitting on Cyborg because we've had history. To be honest with you, I usually don't talk about this shit publicly. You know how I always say, I don't tell you guys anything. But she actually texted me and wished me a happy birthday, for my birthday. So it's not like Cyborg and I hate each other, and I'm not trying to discredit her, be mean to her. I wish her the best in whatever she's doing. And it was nice of her to send me a birthday text. So I just wanted to reiterate that I am not shitting on Cyborg. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
Just a quick one.
Yeah,
Thanks
buddy.
again for an awesome night, Dana. How big is just Brandon Moreno getting that interim title? And it's crazy how a guy who didn't win the Ultimate Fighter rallied back, got the wins, got back in that octagon, is now just your biggest Mexican star, period.
Yeah, no, not Mexican. He's one of the biggest stars that we have. He's one of the biggest stars on the roster. When we do signings with Brandon Moreno, he's one of the most popular fighters in the company. And obviously, the way, again, he's your typical, durable, badass Mexican fighter. See him come out with the headband like Julio Cesar Chavez the other day, and what does he do? He comes out with the Julio Cesar Chavez headband and then finishes the fight with a body shot.
Yeah.
You ever think of that? Yeah, you didn't think of that, did you? That's pretty fucking awesome, to be honest with you.
And do you take if there is a quadrilogy, the fourth, do you go to Brazil or do you keep that in the States?
We could do it wherever. Wherever we end up, we end up. We could do that fight in Alaska. That's going to be a big fight. People are going to want to see it. It's just you could watch those guys fight 10 times.
No doubt. Thank you, sir.
And it's very rare. It doesn't happen often. Good? Oh, thank you. So, Anthony Smith, we were doing the press conference on Saturday, and somebody asked me how he's doing. I asked, he did break his leg. His leg was broken. They ended up finding the fracture in his leg. I guess it was in a weird place, hard to find. He was sitting there questioning himself like, what the hell is wrong with me? I feel like my leg is broken. I know my body and all this stuff. But I just wanted to tell you guys that because sometimes it makes him look like, oh, he's trying to get out of the fight and he's claiming he broke his leg. The way that I looked at it was he got kicked so fucking hard that he thought his leg was broken. You know what I mean? Which you can imagine happening too. But he legitimately has a bad break in his leg that is going to need surgery. So I just wanted to, for him, I wanted to put that out there because I was the one that said it wasn't broken. Cool? Thank you, boys.